Good afternoon to everyone who's out there. My name's Nigel Morris. We're just watching all our attendees roll in. Bear with us for a minute or two while everyone gets settled in, and we'll be back with you shortly.
While we're waiting for that, Nigel, maybe I can share a little bit of set the tone by sharing a little bit about the award ceremony in a video, if I may. If I can just, Alicia, have ability to share my video.
Yep, I'm just going to stop sharing.
Thank you. All right, here's a little.
I think it's really awesome that SunWiz has come together with the Smart Energy Council and put this together, because it recognises not only volume but quality, so we can really sort of stand out in the crowd.
It is absolutely great for us. They're taking this customers' experience into reviews, and they're showing to future customers who we are.
One of the things that really stands out about the award ceremony is its legitimacy. To know that the companies that are receiving the awards truly deserve the awards.
I think it's a brilliant idea with two organisations that have a history of showcasing the best of an industry.
Because in this industry, trust is really important. It allows us to build on that reputation in order so that other potential customers can see that we're a trustworthy and reputable business.
We feel really proud to have got it. It's an award that we're going to put on our mantelpiece in the office and front and centre.
There's a little taster for you, Nigel.
Thanks, Warwick. Well, huge welcome to everyone who is streaming in. We've got a great session this afternoon that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. My name's Nigel Morris. For those of you who I haven't met, I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at the Smart Energy Council. Today is actually a huge opportunity for you. It's an opportunity to understand how the SunWiz Awards work, and most importantly, how they're going to help you stand out in a market that is furiously crowded. The Smart Energy Council is really proud to support the SunWiz Awards. This is actually our fourth year in a row of supporting the awards, because they're data-driven, they're verifiable, they're simple, and as you just heard on the great little video that Warwick put up, they're valuable. We're also deep in the planning for our annual conference in Sydney, which is on May 6th and 7th. And we also, as part of the SunWiz Awards, host a very high-profile awards ceremony. So that's the kind of culmination of this whole process. It's a fantastic way to generate media, PR, content, but of course, you've got to be in it to win it. So pay attention today to what Warwick and some of the past winners are going to share with you. All right, that's enough from me. I'm going to get into the session. Please, if you've got your phone handy, put it on mute. Make sure you've got no distractions. We're going to hear from our guest speakers as well throughout the day. But to kick off the show, let me introduce the star, Mr. Warwick Johnson, founder of SunWiz.
Thanks, Nige. Always wonderful to be here with you, and loving being you in your new capacity with the Smart Energy Council. It's a great addition to already impressive organisation. Let me also invite people to put their questions in Q&A or chat. I've got my associate Kevin standing by there to help answer those as you go through. Today is actually a bit of an important day. Because what's first just getting through January, people are starting to get back to work. Well, actually, people have been working pretty hard already. It's a big first month of a massive year. It's perhaps going to be the biggest year yet for many companies, but also a tumultuous year. And I want everyone to recognise that what you do now can set you up to ride through the valley of death that is coming, come May 1. And position you for outstanding years to come. And to do that, we're going to be hearing from award-winning businesses about what they do that makes them great and what you can do to be great yourself. And in so doing, we're actually going to raise the standard of the whole industry, which is where there's a real alignment between SunWiz and the Smart Energy Council. and we're going to hear how you can make best use of your award and extract most value from it. So our agenda for today includes looking at awards and why they matter. You'll hear from panelists and hear from them the things that you can do to join their ranks, whether it be by improving your customer reviews or volumes or both. And you get tips on how to best use your awards. We're going to run you through a market update and what that means for your business and how to set it up well to ride through the rest of this year, and share how to apply for your award. And I've got to say briefly that application for award is actually a really easy process. It starts with the QR code that's on the screen. It involves filling in a form and submitting some data. It's very, very simple. So wherever you see that QR code, you can actually get started with that EOI process if you haven't already. Let me start by saying awards, what's the point of them? Well, there's a few of them, but let's start with awards are recognition of your past effort. And indeed, that makes them a great way to recognise and celebrate your team. Sometimes on stage at the awards ceremony, we have entire teams joining us, and that's part of a morale boost for them and a real celebration for that, because it takes a team to make these awards happen. More importantly, for the business and business owner, awards set you up for great years to come. And in particular, the SunWiz Award will help you generate extra leads and close sales without having to compete on price. And these awards that we're talking about today are where you get to stand on the shoulders of the giants of credibility, SunWiz and the Smart Energy Council, and that really helps your business stand above everybody else. So let's meet some of our esteemed colleagues. I'd like each panelist briefly to tell me about your company, the awards that you've won recently, and what sets your business apart. Let's start with you, if we can, Lee.
Hi everyone, I'm Lee from Resync Solar. We've been solar industry here for 10 years, based mostly East Coast, New South Wales and Queensland. We've won a few awards in the last 12, 24 months. There's the All-Star and local awards there with SunWiz. Also the Solar Quotes and Smart Energy Council Installer of the Year last year. So certainly appreciate the value of it, of the awards process, what they bring to your company, what they bring to your customers. So yeah, looking forward to hearing from everyone else and adding what I can.
Right. And what would you say is your key differentiator, Lee, just for people to know what sets you apart?
I think it's just a more significant focus on that customer journey. Is that customer experience both pre and post install. A lot of people dial it in pre-installation. We really focus on post installation as well.
Right, we might hear some of that later from this next panelist, Andre Scott from 1,5. Please tell us company background, some of the awards you won last year, and your key differentiator.
Thanks, Ward. Pleasure to be here. Hello, everyone. Andre Scott from 1,5. We have been developing our brand in Australia over several years, expanding really into, and I'll hit the differentiator up front actually, which is moving into more of the one-stop shop territory. And we've seen that evolving from other businesses as well. So really starting off from solar, moving into storage, which we've all seen grow to soaring heights in the last 12 months, especially. And then moving into home electrification elements as well. From an awards perspective, we were very lucky to bring home a few last year. And really for us, it was from a national perspective, but also getting into local awards where it matters, especially into battery installation, where we've really seen great traction there.
Great, thank you. And Derek, please, your company background, awards you won recently, and key differentiator.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Derek McKercher from PSW in WA. Bit different to the rest. We're more of a local provider. Not necessarily a bag of awards, but I think the most important thing is to be in it, in the mix. And probably one of our most proudest awards is not a number one title as such, but the number one local hero in the Perth Southwest region. I think it offers a lot of benefits, which I'm sure we'll get to down the track. But I think when you look at the likes of Andre and the guys at Resing, they're doing a great job, and it just shows that there's a diverse mix of companies that are out there that can partake in the awards.
Right, thank you for that. Let me just pop this back up. And as you see, some of these little tiles on the left there, you can see some of these have got their awards cut off just due to formatting. But Lee was #1 most popular, best rated, just getting so many 5-star reviews, and it sounds like you'll start to hear why. But also got a local solar hero in the area where he's based, where Resing's based. Andre 1,5 took out some national awards, including top 10 commercial, and some state-based awards, and also did very well in battery sales for last year. And Derek, you can see there, has got a volume award, top 10 in Western Australia, a local solar hero award, which top #1 in the Perth Southwest region, as well as that best rated retailer award as well. So let's continue on. And let's start with, we'll hear some more from our panelists soon. I want to say there are a lot of awards out there and many different awards programs. And I want to point out that very few are as impartial and credible as those offered by SunWiz in partnership with the SEC. I don't know about you, but if you've attended some award ceremonies, at their worst, they can feel like popularity contests. Who's the favourite person in the industry? And what I observe is that the judges of these awards can feel safe endorsing companies they know are popular because they don't want to put their necks out. And we don't want another popularity contest. I was never the most popular kid at school kind of thing, and I'm not sure that I'd win one today. Then you've got your biggest customer award, and these are only open to people that use a particular lead provider or a particular brand of equipment. And that's great if you're big or you use that lead provider, but there's lots of smaller companies that truly are local solar heroes that get overlooked again and again. And then there are some awards that are offered by someone lacking credibility, and they don't carry much currency when speaking with a customer, particularly if they look unprofessional. SunWiz's awards are different. They're not a popularity contest because they're based purely on data. And we're talking about the number of installations you've done on their volume, and the ratings and reviews you get. I'll talk to more about that later. You don't have to be a customer or a client of SunWiz. They're open to everyone to register, and they take account of everyone in the industry. So it's a very, very broad church and encompassing. They're long-running and backed by organisations that have immense integrity and credibility. Nigel, can you tell me how long the Smart Energy Council has been the peak body for the solar industry?
Decades and decades and decades, Warwick. But I have to say, the last couple of years in particular, is part of the reason why I've come to the Smart Energy Council, is I've watched them meteorically rise to be preeminently influential in the industry. Yeah.
And so, imagine yourself on stage with, industry legend Nigel Morris, the chief cheerleader, John Grimes, and myself. That's a stage that you want to be on because you're standing again on the shoulders of giants of credibility and integrity. And look, it doesn't stop there. We don't just hand you a trophy and a photograph. We do an immense amount of marketing on your behalf. This includes professional videography and an endorsement video, endorsement web page that boosts your SEO, and also your likelihood of appearing in AI search snippets, which is increasingly important. We also promote you on social media and boost your own posts. We provide you content to use, tips on how to use it, and we've also implemented ad campaigns on YouTube with very specific geo-targeting for our local solar heroes. So as you can see, this is not just an award that gets handed to you and it's up to you to do what you want to do with it. It's like we're putting our marketing effort behind you. So for those of you who don't yet know, here are the categories. The top volume PV retailers and battery retailers is based on your STC registration. If you register in your own REC registry account, then you're already accounted for. But those that use an STC agent simply need to request their STC codes from their agent and send it to us. But you don't have to be big to be beautiful. Local solar heroes, as we've heard from Per Solar Warehouse, are those companies that may appear further down the state or national leaderboard, yet can dominate their local area. This award is offered to the top 5 companies by volume in each of 88 Australian regions. And a data partner uses the SPV data, the serial panel validation data, to rank everyone, whether they participate or not. And then they advise us of where our participants rank in those mix. So, and actually we provide that as market intelligence to participants so they can see where they're strong and where they can grow. All you need to do for the local solar hero is to express interest and fill in a separate form. We have also introduced a local battery hero equivalent this year. So, as I mentioned, apart from all the other benefits, you're getting valuable market intel, including a benchmarking report for your STCs. As well as these volume-based awards, we also have our best-rated solar retailers, which measure outstanding customer satisfaction across multiple platforms. And this year we'll be introducing state-based awards for our best-rated retailer program as well. Here are our award winners from last year. I'm not going to read them all out. You can see there's a range of companies here from across the spectrum. Many you'll know and recognise as being big or brilliant, but there's plenty of opportunities for smaller companies too. And I'd like to call out our 2025 top volume manufacturers too: Alpha ESS, Clenergy, Goodwee, Hainan, Jinko, JA Solar, Risen, and Sungrow. Those ranks will be changing, of course, in 2026, but it was great to have these companies join us on stage because they make the products that installers and retailers love to use to grow the whole solar industry. All right, enough just from me. We're now going to be speaking with our panelists about what separates award winners from the rest. We're going to explore what actually pushes businesses into award-winning territory, and so what you listeners can do to also join their ranks. And here's some of the hidden tips and tricks about how to get there, what to focus on, and then what to do once you've got the award as well. So let me stop my sharing so we can see everyone there and say, let's start with this question, and I'll start with you, Derek. Looking back, what do you think most clearly separated your business from the average retailer last year?
Well, Warwick, we're always looking to push boundaries to improve and stand out. I think that's always a shifting landscape as well. So we're always looking to just create a significant impact for the right reasons in a world, especially where trade-based services have declined or consumer expectation around trade-based services. So I think especially when we have products like new energy technology and we have an opportunity to really blow someone's mind, why don't we do it from every single aspect, from before, along the journey, and even way beyond when the customer really does need you. I think that there's a lot of similarities probably with my other panelists there in Lee and Andre.
Yeah, let's hear from you. Thanks, Derek. Lee, what separates your business from the average retailer in last year?
I think it's just that real strong focus on aftermarket care and service, being there for customers afterwards. So we say to customers pre-sale is that we're in an industry where once the check's in the bank and the panels are on the roof, you often don't hear from the solar company again. Whereas we're the opposite, is that's where our relationship really starts. And we see that as a 25-year partnership in their system, their outcome and their results. So looking where we can, as often as we can, to add more value for them, whether that's through energy retail, whether it's through panel cleaning, other services, just recommendations, observations, and the monitoring, looking at their annual performance together with them, is adding value and unexpected value over time.
And Lee, that sounds like something that people would like to think they might do, but probably forget to do. How do you integrate that as a habit or discipline that makes it part of your business process and therefore propels you to this outcome?
You've got to plan for it, systemize, put team members in place. So we've probably got about 10 team members that are just full-time allocated to proactive customer care. So in this industry, it's hopeful that you get reactive customer care, that if you do have a problem, you can call the company and they'll answer and actually do something about it. But even that seems to be few and far between sometimes across the forums and looking at people's experiences and speaking to customers. Like I think one of the dark sides of the industry or downsides is that there's so many system replacements that happen because systems haven't been cared for, customers are solar orphans, all of those sorts of incidents. It just wasn't installed properly, wasn't maintained.
And what does that give you once you've got all these raving, happy customers that, other people think of, one and done, they'll never hear from again. What does that customer engagement give you as a business in the short, medium, long term?
Yeah, you obviously get referrals from it, positive word of mouth, which is what you want in community. You get a high amount of reciprocation there with customers as well. So if you ever do ask for reviews, they're far more likely to leave them, having done good service. I often say that real value is the results that a customer is expecting or more. Whereas there's a lot of companies that don't deliver on their cheap promises. So even though the system might have been a lot cheaper, the customer feels like they haven't had a good experience, they haven't got good value because they're not getting delivered on.
Great, thank you for that. Now, Andre, what do you think that strong retailers but non-winning retailers typically underestimate about what it takes to reach that level? And I note in this case, we're probably talking about a very, very large business, but there's still things we can apply.
Pardon me. I think I've worked in a few industries, and this is by far one of the most complex and we'll call it variable businesses operationally, right? And it's very hard to plan. It's very hard to predict. And there's a lot that's actually out of your control that you have to manage. And I think the key out of that is having really, I think what's underestimated, and it leans into what both Lee and Derek have mentioned, is that you just need the speed, the agility, and the people and processes required to respond to that change. And if I look back at some of our most successful moments as a business, it's been our ability to have focused flexibility when it comes time to those key moments when there is a rebate announced, when you suddenly are, Derek and I were talking before the call around, are looking for additional installation capacity. Or as Lee's outlined, in order to ensure the proper level of customer insurance on the back end of what is coming, how do we flex and manage that and have the right people and aftercare processes in place to manage it? And I think that's where you often feel the biggest internal stress points, and that's what people underestimate.
Thanks, Andre. And again, back to you, Andre. Retailers have got a lot to do, and you can read a billion different business improvement books and get overwhelmed. If a retailer wanted to realistically improve their chances of winning an award next year, what's the first thing that they should focus on?
So I'm a marketing guy, so I always love to put all the onus and blame onto sales. So I would say in this particular scenario, it really focusing on sales practices, because that's the initial point of contact with the customer, whether it be in person or over the phone. And when you focus on making promises you can keep, focus on savings and outcomes that are realistic, and focus on system sizing and setup that's correct for the customer, you're setting yourself up for success going forward from that point. And I think what we both know can happen, and what we've seen historically, and what we have a obligation and responsibility for the industry to do, is to ensure that we're doing that properly up front.
Right, thank you. And how about yourself, Lee? Pretend for a moment you're an average retailer, and you want to get to the point of Resinc or somebody else in this call. What's the first thing that you'd do?
I think you've got to put in place a review strategy. It's more than just chance. You've got to go to work on that deliberately and providing exceptional service to your customers first of all. We all get blasted by 100 review requests from everything we've ever touched in retail or every travel booking you've ever made on a monthly basis, so people are pretty numb to it. So kind of hoping for reviews or just sending out a reminder for a review or a request. That's sort of level one. There's many more levels to unlock after that. But also going to work on any challenges. Is there opportunities to improve? There are opportunities to get feedback from customers, opportunities to find out where there are gaps in your systems business process so that you can prevent bad experiences. Getting that customer's temperature up front shortly after installation, checking in. Something unresolved or unspoken about can fester for a long time and cause a negative experience, even if there's just a simple misunderstanding. So clear all that up front, check in with your customers, see how it went, and just provide real service.
Yeah, I'd say that's number one, right? Is taking that approach of after delivering installation, asking how could I have done better, right? And then if the answer is no, you did a great job, well, please give us a review. And if you didn't, then you've probably cut it off the pass a negative review and also learned something from it. So, hey, that's just one small part of what you do, I'm sure. Now, I'm keen to hear from you. Where is it, Andre? Oh no, hold on. Where are we? Derek, so what do award-winning businesses do consistently that others only do occasionally?
Well, I think I hear a lot of commonalities there. I believe it's streamlining process, whether it is within the review phase and that's something we're consistently doing from the start all the way through. And I think we're trying to reinvent it almost again for the new phase of the digital era. Always loved being on the forefront of technology. But I think if there are businesses out there, if you've got a good, stable, or streamlined process and you know exactly what you're doing at every single point along the way, it certainly does help. And that resonates through for the customer.
Right. And how about for yourself, Andre? Or would you say that what's the thing that is award-winning businesses do consistently that other businesses just do occasionally?
I would say, look, I'm a believer that there's nothing worse than being consistently inconsistent. So I think in this case, it's really maintaining that clear, consistent focus in the face of all the adversity that I've just outlined earlier, right? It's such a crazy industry with a lot of things out of your control that you have to manage. And I think when you can at least build a plan, build a strategy, even down to just down to what types of installations, what types of customers do you want to focus on, and where do you want to be excellent? Having that clear focus for the team on even down to solar versus battery versus solar and battery, and really looking at what do we focus on executing within the year, I think is a great start.
Derek, you had an interesting answer to this question. Which part of your business delivers the biggest competitive payoff relative to the effort that you put in? People are installers going like, there's so much I know I need to do or could do, etc. We talked about what they should do first, but what's the high impact thing that you think is the shortcut?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me this one.
You had a great answer.
But first of all, it's definitely customer experience, consistency, and for us, local presence. That's what we lean into. We're WA born and bred, and that's the market that we know. I feel that reviews are less prevalent in 2026, especially with the way that new search is evolving in terms of agentic search and things. I think it's looking for more balance and more genuine experiences. So I think if you do have someone that reviews are still relevant, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of companies up there with significantly disproportionate amount of reviews in comparative to their business size and the rest of the industry. Although I do have to give credit to Lee and the Resi team. I really feel their reviews are genuine and not disproportionate like the rest. But you can spot the anomalies. But for a lot of those marketing heavy companies, their reviews are going to be less relevant, and agentic search is going to look more for, I guess, it's going to bring value back to the owner operator.
Thanks. And Nigel, I think you wanted to ask a question too.
Yeah, I've got a question. I mean, over the years, I have heard so many solar companies say, yeah, look, investing time in systems and process or post-sales support or all those kinds of things all sounds good, but it's a cost to my business. And I'm just focused on trying to stay competitive, and I just want to focus on technology, or I want to focus on delivery. Open question to the three of you about how you deal with that challenge, and what would you say to a solar retailer who's balking and making that investment? You guys are clearly making it work for you. How would you respond to someone who challenged you on that question?
My point of advice was going to be is the first thing everyone should look at doing is putting their price up, is actually include sufficient gross margin in there to provide the extra layers of service support, because that's what the customers are actually looking for. Is they're not looking for the cheapest price. There's a portion that are. They're probably not your customers if you want to run a sustainable business. Leave them to the bottom feeders. But if you want sustainable business done right with great customer experiences, you need to invest into those departments. You need to staff it, resource it, systemize it, and it costs a lot of money. But that's where real results, real value isn't just the dollars and kilowatts. It's the experience, the outcome, and long-term service and support. So I think it's an interesting industry in that any other industry, consumers value different price points, different business models a lot more than they do solar. It just seems kilowatts and dollars sometimes, whereas we don't buy cars because they've all got four wheels and compare them on price. But oftentimes that's the buying experience. So you've got to educate your customers. You've got to go to longer form sales. You've got to build in that aftermarket support. And when the customer sees that you're genuinely there through your previous reviews, through your awards, through your commitments and the approach of onboarding a customer, they're more confident to use you even at a higher price than competitors at a lower price.
So, Lee, I'm curious to dive in a little bit further. We're talking now about outcomes that come from awards. So, I'm curious, after winning these awards, what changed in a way that directly affected commercial outcomes?
So I think we always had the same approach from day one to customer experience. We keep reinvesting more and more and adding extra steps, adding extra service layers as we grow as a business and resource up as well. But the awards and the reviews are the third party, I guess, validation of what you are promising you actually do. So it's one thing for us to say it, and that's how everyone starts initially, is you're telling the customer what you're going to do for them. Then you start getting the reviews, and that's other customers saying what you did for them. And then you get the awards, and that's the industry and third party acknowledgement that you've delivered at that level.
But
stacked psychology.
That sounds like, though, then when somebody comes to go and say, but you're more expensive, you're able to point at something that has them feel comfortable spending more.
Yeah, I own that one. Absolutely, we are.
Yeah.
There's a good reason why as well.
Yeah.
The question you should be asking is not, are we more expensive, is why are they so cheap?
Good. Now, Andre, keen to hear from you. What changed in a way after your award that directly affected commercial outcomes? And before you jump in, let me also say that 1,5 went on a bit of a buying spree and bought some solar retailers, one of whom had been a SunWiz Award winner. So I'd like to think that a SunWiz Award could get you a big buyout from a foreign company, but I can't promise that. But Andre, tell us about how the awards support your commercial outcomes.
I think. Actually, I wanted to weigh in on what Nigel's first question question was, and where Lee, I think where you went. I always go back and actually remind, especially internal teams, what the product actually is. And I think we get caught up in the product is an inverter, panels, and a battery, and that's done. And the full product is actually that installed and working with support and assurance and outcomes for the customer. So I think in order to facilitate the true product, you actually have to have all those operational costs built in to Lee's point, into the upfront cost of the system so you can support it. Now, Warwick, your question was around how did it help us?
Yeah.
I think tied into what you said, we are an amalgamation of multiple businesses over time. And I think with that, we have to take on different cultures and bring them into the 1,5 culture along the way. And there's a lot of process and upheaval within that. And I think what we saw is just the timing of last year was perfect for us with these awards because, as the other gentleman has stated, it's a real award. It's not an award for hire. And I think those are the things that I just can't stand. It's actually based on real outcomes in STCs and performance. And then with that, it's just a point of pride. And it's a reminder that we're actually doing good things and we are winning. And especially with our scenario when we're in such, I keep using the word change and turmoil because that's just been my experience over the last 18 months or so, and probably everyone else's. But it was just something we could point back to as a point of pride. And you could hear that in the sales conversations. You could hear that in the internal conversations. And it turned it into something more than just, a beautiful, clear award that's sitting at the front desk when they walk in.
Jesus, I hadn't heard this before, but you mentioned about salespeople who are proud. There's a lot about success in sales. There's a lot about psychology of the salesperson in that given moment, right? And I did mention before, you're rewarding your whole team with a morale boost, but it's interesting to see what that can do in the longer term too, right?
100%. When I came back, it was very much, obviously, as the gentlemen are here, it was us on stage, but we won. And you could feel that when we came back into the business.
That's great. Look, and as you said, it's an award that you actually earn. It's an award that you deserve, right? Derek, tell us, how has the award, what have been the commercial benefits for you from the award?
Well, I'm a marketing guy, Warwick, and context is the real benefit for me. And I think especially you'll keep hearing me refer to search. I love that we're moving away from Google search, and it's a good third-party platform for context of where you fit in the industry. It really does resonate. I think a lot of businesses can benefit from it, and the fact that it is built on the likes of data, so that there's a genuine reference point, so it resonates through, I guess, the search algorithms that are there. So context is the most powerful thing that we're all heading towards, and more businesses need it.
Great, thank you. And then for yourself, Lee, was there a benefit or an outcome of the awards that you didn't necessarily expect, but is something that you wouldn't want to lose?
Interesting question. Certainly one of the points that you touched on before is the confidence in your sales team behind the brand that they're representing, the confidence to put that foot forward and push your products, services with the amount of confidence that they need to cut through in the industry. I think that's good. The PR exposure, the one thing for us as well is opening further relationships, whether that be with commercial businesses, whether it be with community organizations, whether it be with creators and influencers or media, is having those awards behind you gives instant trust on levels beyond just the consumer, but other parties and relationships as well. Is other people are putting their name to your company if you're in any sort of relationship with them. So it gives them confidence that you're the real deal, do what you promise, and have third-party validation and endorsement as well.
That sounds like it might end up with you getting a deal done with a supplier quicker because you've got independent endorsement. It sounds like you might get a more favourable relationship, which might end up with more favourable pricing. Who can say, right? It sounds like it's an interesting thing up the supply chain as well with the end customers.
It definitely helps on all of that. Absolutely. So every level it's not just the consumer level, it's every relationship as well.
Great, thanks. Andre, for yourself, I'm curious to hear how did you use the award most effectively in your business? Is this part of recommendations for our listeners about how they can use awards, ours and others, in their business well?
Sure. I think as I started my last reply, I think the worst that you can do is bring the awards in and sit them on the front desk and call it a day. I think what we've tried to do is continue that through. We communicated all of the awards through to our internal chat teams throughout the company. We also shared the individual awards through to our global team as well, so they can leverage them as they see fit. We pulled together not a one-hit wonder social strategy, and that's paid and organic. We chose to, because we want a combination of commercial, national, and local. We spread out the communication of those awards accordingly, so that we gave them breadth and some space, and turned one moment into 6 months worth of celebration, if you will, over time. And then, of course, in through to the sales pitch itself, into whatever sales quoting tool you use, i.e. Pylon, we inbuilt it into there as well. And then, of course, through any of our customer communications posts where we need to ensure that you're with a winning business, we've integrated it there. So, I use the term through the line, one of those old marketing terms. So we're using it throughout the process. And that's what's worked the best for us.
Great, that's a really good takeaway. Thank you. Yeah, using those awards throughout your entire process, I think, is a really good thing. Lee, you outstanding example of putting awards front and center. Tell us about your strategy for using the award most effectively in your business.
I think it is that claim for most effectively with consumers. It is that claim that you can stand behind. There's a reason we win the awards. There's a reason we get the reviews. It's because we do what we promise and we deliver on that, not just for the installation, but long afterwards. So it's a huge differentiator when you can link those awards to the reason why you've achieved them, and link those reviews and customer experiences to the experience the customers have had.
Yeah, I've long been an advocate for people starting their first conversation with a customer saying, our goal is to deliver a 5-star experience for you, and anything that we fall short of, the boss will be jumping on straight away, and it's already anchoring for them. Well, that's what you're trying to do, like what you're saying. And you show, hey, and we do that time and time again. But then it's also framing and encouraging them to be doing the same when it comes their turn. Yeah. Great. Where are we next? Derek, look, if somebody wins an award but underuses it, where do you think they're going wrong?
Well, by not making it discoverable. I think you just at least start with a website page or a web page, a basic post, and have that as your anchor point. And then you've got a reference point across the internet, and it can be found, it can be indexed. And I'm with Andre. I love that you get the mileage out of it a little bit over time. You don't overcrowd it. You give it space. I think that's really important, because it's with marketing, you don't want to ask someone to marry them on the first date, right? But you want to show them consistency and subtle reinforcement. So tell your story and make sure people can read about it and index it. And I think that value resonates over time. And if you partake the following year, you've got another reference point that's there. But I think if you start with one page and then you use social media and the likes as your megaphone, but not necessarily the your reference point. So definitely make it discoverable.
Right, thank you guys. We're going to do a bit of reflection, forward thinking. What would you do differently if you were aiming to win again, Derek?
I would build on last year's context. So exactly what I was saying is we created a post. We do other things throughout the website, but I'm all about context. You've heard it before. You're probably going to hear it again because it's just the era that we're in, and people just do need to be proactive. And this is a great third-party peer review or peer recognition that all companies should be proud of.
Great. Look, thank you. I'm going to move on in our webinar. Just bring up the right page. There we go. There's so much more that you guys could say and share, and would love you to. I wanted to give an example of what Lee has done in his business, and I've noted that Derek's done something similar previously. So, some of the ways you can use your award are posted here. So, Lee's got a blog post there on the image on the bottom left there on the award. You can see he's got an awards page, and especially, the more you've got there, the better. And has even gone to the trouble of indexing them in one big image that you can see on his front page and making them a bit more consistent. So his front page leads with Australia's #1 for solar and batteries. All of these awards, etc. Australia's highest rated, most awarded. It's like it is continually reinforced. And as you scroll down the page, it's not just claims; it's backed by customer testimonial there. So there's a shining example. One thing I think that's really useful here also is that Lee's gone and we as part of the things we recommend, Lee's probably done it independently anyway, but go and tell Google that you want underneath your name the first link to be that you're an award winner, right? That helps you. And it's worth noting also that part of what we've been doing for a long time is supporting our award winners with SEO through the endorsement page, the backlinks. There's also a key strategy in that for those artificial intelligence snippets that appear above search results these days. And that is something that we're leaning into as well. The more by providing pages that are indexable, etc., from trusted parties that LLMs find that are credible, etc., that's going to boost your likelihood of appearing even before anybody else gets their search results up. All right, let's talk to a bit of what's about to happen. And Nigel, I'm going to invite you in here as well. First, from my perspective, I want to say people are going to be very busy before 1st of May. We talked about it. There's going to be some danger that not all of those sales will get installed, and that could leave you with negative customer experience. So be cautious of that. Solar installations, if you're a solar equipment provider, may dry up until May while people rush to install those batteries. From my perspective, then there's going to be a valley. Nigel, you've seen this before as well. Customers that would have bought in an orderly fashion in May, June and July will already have bought before then. What's going to happen in that valley is that businesses get desperate. Some of those will be inexperienced. Many of them will be fattened up, and most won't have saved for a rainy day. Some will have inflexible overheads, and many of those businesses will die, but not before causing problems. Then there's going to be a resumption of interest levels. My perspective is that post-September there'll be the same number of customers as before, but they'll be buying 20 kilowatt hour, 25 kilowatt hour systems rather than 50 kilowatt hour systems. As a result, industry revenues are going to drop compared, which means there will still be some desperation and price pressure out there. And customers are going to be a bit more skeptical and more discerning once they're starting to hear some of the stories that have come out of those initial rush of battery rebate chases and their experiences. Those that do buy are going to spend their budget a bit more on PV and a bit less on batteries than they were doing before when batteries represented such good value. So there's going to be a relative uptick in solar installations. And a tip I've got that you can do is go back and upgrade some of those systems, both of your own and others, in May, June and July. Upgrade those PV systems to match the battery size that you have installed in the last year. But once those customers have got some good experience with it and realise I could be pumping some more solar into those. Nigel, what else do you see is going to be happening in the year ahead?
It's a great synopsis of what's coming. It's a really interesting one. I had a conversation just the other day, actually, with someone who works on the annual STC forecasts for the rebate program, and we had a long chat about all the ups and downs and variables, like you and I have talked about for decades, Warwick, that can influence whether consumers are more motivated or less motivated. And I must admit that I am very bullish. I think there's no doubt there's going to be an adjustment that'll come on May the 1st, and I'll touch on what that means just for those who don't know. There will no doubt be an adjustment. There is no doubt that we're going to have brought some market forward, and that will more than likely create a dip. And I suspect that a lot of installers are probably going to want a bit of a holiday around May as well, after working furiously till the end of last year, and they're not getting a break and running right through to the end of May. So there's no doubt it's going to be a slightly tougher time. However, I like to use the barbecue. In fact, the Christmas barbecue is my guide to what's going on, because when I had my Christmas barbie and a bunch of friends came round, they all came and looked at the battery system that I'd just had installed a few weeks prior, and they said, "Oh, great, great, great. Should we get one?" I said, "Well, of course you should get one." And they said, "Great, great, great." They've all got solar, half a dozen of them, all got solar. And they said, "Yeah, we saw the rebate was out there, but you know, the solar's been doing its job, so we haven't rushed into the rebate. We can see that it's probably going to go down now. We've seen those warnings. Should we?" But we're not the kind of people who jump in straight away. We're a bit more measured. We're taking our time. We've got our savings secured from our solar, so we just want to take our time and find that good company who can provide me with a battery. So universally, and I'll give you the good intel that I got. At its peak in December, Australian solar companies installed 12,000 batteries a week. Huge, right? 12,000 batteries a week. When I had this big conversation recently about this, we landed on the fact that we think it might drop to about 10,000. We think it'll stabilize around 10,000, maybe a little less, maybe a little more over time, but not subject to all the variables that can wildly swing things, foreign exchange and geopolitical and everything else. We think it's actually just going to create this new baseline standard market, and time will tell. For those of you who aren't aware, what changes on May the 1st is the rebate changes, so that from 0 to 14 kilowatt hours you get 100 kilowatts. 100% of the rebate. From 14 to 28 you get 60%, noting that if you do the first 14 gets the 100%, and then the next up to 28, the next 14 gets 60%, and then beyond that, 28 to 50, it reduces again to 15. So it's kind of like it is a tiered rebate system. A little bit more complicated, sorry about that. The quid pro quo for having a more complex rebate structure is that we managed to talk the government into providing an additional $5 billion. If you didn't know, this makes it the biggest battery incentive in the world. We have the hottest market for distributed batteries in the world right now, which is why everyone looks so exhausted and just wants a holiday. But it is monumentally successful. Every day in the press, you see articles about the positive impact it's having on the grid. So prepare for the change. Warwick's tips were really, really good ones. There's all those existing customers. There's millions of homes, and plow on and prepare. A couple of good solar companies I've talked to are using this period up until May to practice their new sales pitches and practice selling on those new sizes, so that when May comes, they can flip straight over, or if they've got customers that they don't get done, they've had that discussion with them.
Right, thank you for that, Nigel. lots of experience and wisdom in there, born of many, many years in the industry. So as we mentioned before, we'll hammer it home again, get your award, use your award, because it's going to be something that helps you with those customers that haven't bought yet. And those customers that probably take a bit more time, a bit more measured, still can get a battery, still can get a great battery, likely a bigger solar system, and be the customers that you want to be having on your side when it comes time to be giving you reviews and referrals. Nigel, I wanted to acknowledge the work of the SEC, both in the Cheaper Home Batteries program, but certainly more broadly. I know since you've joined, there's been a lot more member benefits announced. Can you spend just a couple of minutes on what people should know?
Absolutely. Thanks, Warwick, and thanks to all our members out there. We're a member-based organisation, so we rely on people joining the Smart Energy Council through a membership, which helps keeps the wheels turning for us. 35 staff down there now, doing a whole variety of activities, everything from the recently announced panel recycling and stewardship program that we've helped get announced through to, literally more than 20 events every year where we help you communicate your messaging. We've got a database of 70,000 that we're communicating with on a whole variety of topics every second minute of the day. And of course, digital and face-to-face CPD training, which is, the heart of what we do. And then behind everything that we do, of course, is our advocacy work. The work working on ministers, both federally and at a state level, to try and make sure that we, frankly, keep the bastards honest, make sure that we're calling them out if they're developing bad policy or regulation, and really try and give them lots of ideas for good regulation and policy. That's what we do. We'd love you to be a part of it. We love being part of this program that helps celebrate both data-driven and really meaningful success in delivering fantastic solar and storage.
Thank you for that, Nigel. And I'll put our closing slide up, and so the QR code is there for somebody. I'm going to cue this little video there for people as well, and they can click on this nice little competitor advertisement for a solar and battery there. Follows you everywhere. But I'll just open up to one last comment, if you've got one there for yourself, Derek. Let's start with Lee, because I think he might need to drop off if he hasn't already.
I'm here still, just driving.
Yeah. Any last comment you've got, something we haven't touched on, or something you'd like to offer?
I think what Nigel said, I concur with the market post May 1st. Is been through many cycles and rebates. I think anyone that was selling rebates, selling a 40, 50 kilowatt hour system, one size fits all for 6,000 or 7,000, their business model is broken and they've got a lot of reinvention to do. But anyone that was right sizing their systems for their customers and just adding the rebate there will survive and do well through it. I look at consumer psychology; they're buying because of the problem, and the problem just got a lot worse with the government announcing up to $500 per annum more expensive electricity bills. That's why the customers are buying, not because of the rebates. They don't understand it. It's hard enough for us to understand that tiered system. Customers definitely don't. So right size your batteries for the customer and easy. And thank you, Warwick and Smart Energy Council, for everything that you guys do. The awards programs, the industry advocacy, it's all hugely beneficial.
Thanks, Lee. How about yourself, Derek?
Oh, look, I'm with the Lee on that one, to be honest. I think it's right size your batteries. I didn't realise people were oversizing up to 50 kilowatts until I went to Sydney. I saw every ad for $4,000 and I didn't know what to, I thought, wow. And then all of a sudden it came to a screeching halt. Another thing, off topic, skin cancer. Get checked, installers. I found out I got skin cancer end of last year, got it cut out. There's a nice big 5 centimetre scar. So health check, that's my tip.
Thanks for that, Derek. Andre.
I'll tell you what, that's hard to beat. I'd say just a reminder, just on the awards front, when you do win, you get a lot of great content. You get a lot of great tools to use. And I admit that there was one piece of content that I didn't actually put to good work, which was
video we received when we went up on stage to win the award. And it only circled back about a week ago, to be honest. We had a rep say, "I've just found this. Where's this been? If I'd known we'd had it, if I'd known this was there, I would have been putting this in front of customers for the last 6 months to help get us over the line." So the timing of that email was pretty ridiculous given the conversation today. But again, you have a lot of content. Make sure you use it all if you're a winner.
Great. While on that note, I'll just start sharing
Smart
my
Energy Council has
comment
sought to
there. But
identify
we
and
do
reward
prepare endorsement
industry-leading people
videos
and
for
companies.
each of our
And
award
SunWiz
winners,
has been identified
which is led
with the
by
leading
myself and
retailers
John,
of solar power systems
talking to
since 2009.
those
SunWiz has
amazing
determined
outcomes.
Solar Bright is a
And
to
let
be
me
an
see,
award
we
last
do
year,
integrate your
distributed
award
across
video
multiple review
footage
sites
into that,
with an
as well
average
as your
rating
awards,
higher than 4.8 stars.
We are
your award
always,
photograph. And you
trying
can
to
also
deliver
do a
tailored solution for the
in-person
customer.
interview and integrate that into your award video. And so
Would you consider buying from
that's
Solar
just one
Bright?
thing. I will leave you with an outro of where are we here? The ability to register your interest and invite you all to be part of the process. Please register interest using that QR code or that URL, and we'll take it from there. Thank you to
a fantastic event
all of
and
our
achievement
panelists.
ceremony by SunWiz and Smart Energy Council. It helps us
And
grow. It helps us.
we'll see you at the conference in May.
A bit more highlighted in the industry.
These companies are our local solar heroes. Those of you who are in the top volume solar retailer category, you deserve our acknowledgement. You've earned your award and you're helping decarbonise our country.
It's a great milestone to be awarded and be recognised as one of the top installers in New South Wales.
Winning this award means a lot for us in our team at Jet Solar. It's going to help us grow, develop and show that we've already got a good reputation in the market.
Yeah, I think SunWiz and Smart Energy Council have been incredibly
And I'll
supportive.
just say the Smart Energy Council is having
these
free
events are really
skin cancer
helpful to
checks
shine a light
at the
on-
Sydney show in
on
May.
who's doing well and where the opportunities are to do better in the industry.
Bendigo's a small town, and I guess word of mouth is everything.
You can be 50th in the state and still dominate your area sufficiently to be number one. So you can learn something there.
This award's a fantastic recognition, and from what I can see, we're probably one of the only vertically integrated businesses sitting in the top 10.
Winning this award actually means a lot to our company because this is a testament to the quality of service that we have provided to all our clients in the B2B market for the last 10 years.
I love these awards. I think that's a very promising award structure for customers to lean on.
We love you too,
What it
Derek.
does is that it just gives you that little bit of additional depth that the company is recognised as a quality installer.
It's been great to come here and see a bunch of friends in the industry and see everyone else doing really well as well. And it's just been really good to get an idea of what we need to do to go one level up next year.
This transformation has only just begun. The electrification of everything means that the work that we collectively are going to do is going to grow and grow, all with solar energy. So, very exciting transition underway.
Thank you again so much, everybody. Let's wrap it up there and look forward to seeing you all at the next big event.